Hey everybody, Rob D'Alessio, Taste of Retirement, and what we're doing today is chicken Parmesan. But in typical Taste of Retirement style, we have to twist it. So we're doing an open-faced sandwich, and it's absolutely fantastic. Come on, let me show you how we do it. Okay, welcome back. Chicken Parmesan. Man, this is a classic Italian-American dish, right? It's a variety of ways. It's at every restaurant, but we, of course, always like to twist things up a little bit. So we're gonna take the chicken Parmesan and we're gonna make it a sandwich. Now, when you buy your chicken breasts, if you buy them at the grocery store, generally they're really thick on one side and really thin on the other. So you either have to butterfly them or pound them out because you want it as even as possible. So what we did is we went ahead and butterflied the chicken breast so it's nice and even all the way throughout. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna dredge it in flour, then we're gonna do a little egg bath, and then we're gonna go with Italian breadcrumbs. Now, you can use panko or you can use some sort of other breading, but I like an Italian breadcrumb. It's just something that I grew up with and I love it. I've got some canola oil in a pan, and the reason why we're using canola oil is because it has a higher smoke point. You don't wanna use butter, you don't wanna use olive oil, use canola, grapeseed oil, something else that can handle that heat. So you'll take the chicken, pat it down, dredge it in the flour. That's what that's called, is dredging it in the flour. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna do an egg wash. Get it nicely coated. And then we go with the breadcrumbs. And then I like to sprinkle them across, pat it down gently. And then we're gonna go to the pan with it. And lay it down nicely. So obviously chicken parm is very popular. You can do the same sandwich. You can do it with eggplant. You can do it with veal, which is my preference. But you know, chicken parm is just great. You know, it's so versatile. And the cool part about when you bread it is it actually adds size to the chicken, so it's gonna look a lot bigger than it actually was. And so what'll happen is you'll get great surface area coverage in your sandwich, and people just love that. It just looks giant and amazing and happy and all those other good words that you could use. All right, so the chicken's all done. It's got nice and golden brown and delicious. And so what we're gonna do, we're just gonna take it out, we're gonna put it on a plate, we're gonna rest it on some paper towels because we wanna let some of that grease drain off, and then we're gonna make the magic happen. Okay, so they're sitting here and they're resting. You know, we talk about it a lot with steaks and other things like that. You definitely always just wanna let your protein rest just for a little bit. Kind of let those juices just render back out into the meat, you know. It'll just taste better, more juicy with every single bite. So just let them rest for a little bit, and then we're gonna go ahead and get everything going the other way. All right, chicken Parmesan sandwich. And what we're gonna do, it's kind of like, you know, like you got the hot brown, which is an open-faced turkey sandwich. Well, we're twisting it up like we always do. We're doing a chicken Parmesan, but we're gonna make an open-faced sandwich out of it. So you're still gonna have to go knife and fork, but you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. What we're gonna do is a quick pan sauce. And I've got chopped garlic and I've got crushed red pepper and a little bit of canola oil in the pan. And I'm just gonna get it hot. And then what you wanna do is, as soon as that you hear that garlic start to sizzle, then we're gonna add in the tomatoes. We've got some San Marzano tomatoes. They're the best you can get around. And I buy them whole peeled, right? So there's no peels in there, but they're whole. So then I use an immersion blender to get them nice and smooth. I just think it's got more flavor, it's better. So the garlic's sizzling now, smells unbelievable. We're gonna go ahead and add in the tomatoes. There's no set amount, but I figure if I'm gonna go ahead and make some tomato sauce, I'm gonna do a lot, right? So, because it's not gonna go to waste. I'll use it for something else, maybe some spaghetti or some angel hair, some meatballs, whatever you want. All right, so the tomatoes are in there. I'm gonna add some dry oregano and some dry basil. Just give it some flavor. Cracked black pepper. And then of course my favorite, some kosher salt. All right, and what you wanna do is, this is a very quick sauce, so you just wanna incorporate all of those herbs, that salt and that pepper, and then as soon as the sauce is hot, we're done. Okay, so the sauce is good and hot, started bubbling. I went ahead and lowered the temperature down just to simmer. Got my pan, I've got my oven set to broil. I went ahead and got some ciabatta bread. I took off a slice and I actually toasted it already. because at the bottom of this open-faced sandwich, it's not gonna get crunchy, and you're gonna want a little bit of bite to that bread. So we put that down, we're gonna take some of the sauce and we're gonna give it a little base on that bread, right? Then we've got the chicken breast, and look at that coverage. It covers the whole thing, so that presentation's gonna be amazing. So then we're gonna take some more sauce, and it's gonna be kind of like some glue here for us, right? Because what we're gonna do is we're gonna broil this here in a second, but if you just put the basil on there, it's gonna burn, and that'll be nasty, it'll be bitter. So we're gonna put actually the basil underneath the mozzarella. And I want a lot of cheese. The more the cheese, the happier it is. So we're gonna do that there. And then we're gonna go back on top with more sauce. And I'm also gonna garnish with some of the basil when it comes out later. And then we're gonna go some nice aged grated parm. And when you're buying parm, you wanna buy some really good parm. I know it's a little expensive, but you don't wanna buy that stuff that's just sitting in those jars on the shelves at the grocery store. Buy it where it's been aged 18, 20, 24 months, something like that. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go, we've got the oven on broil, we're gonna put it in the broil, and then we're gonna check on it because that cheese will burn really quickly. All right, so the cheese is all happy and gooey and brown and just absolutely delicious. So we're gonna take that out. We've got our plate. And so the basil underneath, you can see it's nice and green and it's all up in that cheese, so it's nice and good and fresh. Move that over to our plate. And then I've still got a little bit more of that fresh basil because you want some color too, and a little bit more flavor. We're just gonna sprinkle some of that on top. And we've got our chicken parm sandwich. All right, there you have it. Chicken Parmesan, twisted up, open-faced. It's unbelievable. Now, if you like what you saw today, go to our link, like and subscribe to our page, and you'll see all kinds of amazing content just like this. I'm Rob D'Alessio, and this was A Taste of Retirement.